All right, Shalom. First off, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi Yahawashi, Summer Kakadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to the hopeful elect. Okay, want to go in on this video that Yahawashi gave us the blueprint. Okay, and I looked up, to bring it back. Yeah, what is the purpose of a blueprint, right? And it says the purpose of a blueprint is to serve as a detailed technical drawing that communicates the exact design, layout, and specifications of a structure or system, ensuring all stakeholders from architects to contractors are aligned and can work efficiently and accurately on a complex project. Blueprints are crucial for planning, cost estimation, obtaining permits, and executing construction or manufacturing, preventing costly mistakes, and ensuring compliance with building codes. Okay. Um, Communication blueprints are a universal language in construction, allowing architects, engineers, contractors, and clients to clearly understand the project's vision and details. Okay. They provide step-by-step instructions for building, um, which is we talking about the house of the Lord, right? Which consists of the people, right? Including dimension, materials, and the precise order of operations, preventing errors. Okay. Blueprints are essential for creating accurate construction schedules and estimating costs by providing information on labor and materials needed. Sets of blueprints must demonstrate that a design meets local building codes and regulations, a requirement for obtaining construction permits. Um, they help ensure that the final product matches the original design and meets quality expectations. Okay. So, that's what a blueprint is good for. Okay. And Yahweh he gave us, if you follow what's inside of them, the scriptures, right? Then you in good shape. Okay. You follow follow off what he wrote, what he said, I should say, you know, and the end results is going to be something magnificent. Okay. But First John 3:1, it says, "Behold, what manner of love the Father has bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God." Right? It says, "Therefore the world knows us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man that has this hope in him purifies himself, even as he is pure." Okay? So, we got the blueprints, we see what's, being built, okay, before our eyes, you know, and we're following those steps, that's written inside of it, could be, you know, um, very rewarding. Okay. This is First John 2:1. It says, "My little children, these things write I unto you, that you sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahawashi the righteous. And he is the propitiation for our sins, and not only ours only, but also for the sins of the whole world. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. Okay, and the scriptures talk about his commandments are not grievous. What's written, you know, is practical. It's good reasons why you should follow it. You know, great reasons, honestly, tremendous reasons. Can use the proper word, okay? But it says, "He that says I know him and keeps not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him." Right? And we can tell when somebody is going off because when we read what's inside the scriptures, if it don't align with what's being built, okay, if the scriptures is the blueprint, we see what the Lord example is, and what you bringing forth isn't of the Lord. We able to tell that because of what's inside the scriptures. Okay, so we see somebody that's proud. You know, um, we you don't have the hopeful elect. The hopeful elect is gonna come in a certain mindset. Okay, um, yeah, you ain't keeping his commandments, right? And one of the things, let's see, put on. This is Colossians 3 and 12. It says, "Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy, which are set apart and beloved," right? A lot of people be trying to do things that, they try to be loved by the Lord, by doing things. But to be loved, to be of the beloved, okay, um, is something that you know, you didn't do of yourself, man. Okay, it says bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. Okay. And these are, part of the blueprints, fine details that you have to be able to pay attention to and add to your life. We could tell when somebody, excuse me, we could tell when somebody is, full of crap, you know, from, their actions, and, 9 times out of 10 is because they are lacking these things right here. They don't have the patience, they aren't being kind, being proud, okay, aren't being humble, okay, don't want to listen. It says, forbearing one another, right, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Yahawashi forgave you, which is part of the blueprint, so also do ye. Okay, so that's what we supposed to be doing. We're supposed to do what the Lord did. He forgave us, so we supposed to forgive one another. Okay, it says, but whoso, First John 2:5, it says, but whoso keeps his word, in him verily or truly is the love of God perfected. Okay, so you do what the blueprint says, right? The Lord's love is perfected. It says, hereby we know that we are in him. Okay. Let's see what the Amplified version says. But whoever habitually keeps his word and obeys his precepts and treasures his message in its entirety, in him the love of God has truly been perfected. It is completed and has been and has reached maturity. By this we know for certain that we are in him. Okay, for he that says he abides in him ought himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Conduct yourself just like the Lord did. He gave that example, and we see the rewards. We see the benefits of that. You know, we rereading it. Okay, we are reading. The benefits of if you do what Yahweh Shah told you to do, sold you, because this all comes from Yahweh on through Yahweh Shah. Okay, if you do those things, then you'll you'll reap all the benefits of it, of being in this truth. Living forever. This you can't even name it. You know, yeah, you can't. There's so many benefits that comes along with being in this faith, man. You know, but Yahawashi, um, when it comes to being of the elect, being loved of the Lord, being saved and delivered, man, the Lord is going to have those people who followed that blueprint. Once it's all complete, man. You typically in construction, when people complete a project, right, you get a reward. Okay, you get a bonus. Okay, that's typically how it goes. Okay, and that goes for everybody who did their part. Whether they was, um, you know, tightening a screw, or picking up trash, or moving stuff from one place to another. You know, that's how it goes, man. You know, um, they all get the reward. Okay, if they stay on the project, and do continue to do what was told. Okay, so this is a big project, man, that the Lord got us in, and Lord willing, we stick through to the end. You know, but we got to walk like the Lord, in order to get to reap the benefits of those, you know, of what this walk consists of. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. I want to say shalom until next time.